Why, hello there. Welcome. Where are we, Jim Toth?
Welcome. Greetings, salutations. Come one, come all, walk or crawl. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. It's Grey Cup Festival live from Convention Center. Cam Poitras.
Jim Toth.
You walked over. There's Carol, our best friend Carol. Winnipeg's best friend Carol Bart is here. Won the award. She came over, she said hello, and then she also dropped off these books, which was her way of saying, don't ask me any questions.
It's
books. Can you guys not text me questions like, where's the Grey Cup this year?
Do not.
Just read the information.
Well, it's an easy answer. Why what was stopping her from saying it's in Winnipeg? Why couldn't she just say that instead of, we get smart-ass comments back at us?
Carol's always been.
It's an easy.
She's always been a little lippy, right? No, I'm just kidding. She's the nicest person on the planet. She came over, gave us hugs, said hi. And she's, honestly, this is the interesting thing about the Grey Cup. I know we're going to get in the Jets game.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that work at the Bombers. Like, every single person in Winnipeg, including the entire Bomber organization, wishes the Bombers was in this game this weekend. But that being said, it's a different Grey Cup for them now, right? Like, they can come to work, help make this thing go, and it's not, the extra adage of doing everything in and around when your team is in it. So it's not what they want, but I think people like Carol and everybody in the organization are going to just enjoy it a little bit
more.
So
the Watchmen are going to be here today at Touchdown Manitoba. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was a bold take.
The Coors Light concert series Thursday. Yeah, I walked in and got a little bit of the sound checks. That was pretty cool. So that was my highlight. I can leave. I can honestly walk out of this place right now, and I'll be hanging my head up high there, Jim Toth.
That was a bold take when I walked in. You're like, can you go get this crap turned off while we're setting up?
I said, we got Jets at noon.
And
we're trying to do Jets at noon.
And they said, we only like local bands here is what you yelled at them. And I'm like, dude, that's the Watchmen.
Well, I didn't know who they were at first. You had to tell me.
In all seriousness, they sound great. And you told me. I came up, I was like, who's playing? He's like, your Watchmen are doing their sound check. And so we had to watch the Watchmen because they're that good. They sounded great in there, which is hard in a convention center.
Oh, it sounded spectacular. So
I was here for a Buck Cherry concert once.
I saw Godsmack in this room.
and a no word of lie.
Indir was opening them with Godsmack.
And I love Buck Cherry.
So do I.
But my buddy who, Greg Pasheshnik, does Super Spike, and I said, you should get Buck Cherry at Super Spike one year. He's like, Buck Cherry, right? And then, 2 months later, he's like, they're at the convention center. I'll go check them out, see if I can book them. So we came here, and they came out and just blew the doors off for 2 songs, and we're standing by the music guy in the middle, and then the lead singer literally, hey, Winnipeg! And then he turned and he pointed at the sound guy, and he said, sound sucks, clean it up, let's go! And they went into their next song, and we looked at the sound guy, and he literally raised his hands and goes, it's an effing convention center. What does he want from me? Sound is not good. And I was like, and then to the further point, Greg's like, I'm not booking them. They sound like they're a hassle.
It's going to be a lot of problems. Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. A VIP take on the text line. Win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Forche's down at the Boston Pizza Studio. We're down at the RBC Convention Center.
Forche's holding down the fort.
For Grey Cup Fest. So thanks, Forche, for being down at the Boston Pizza Studio. Somebody has to be. Thank you very much.
Probably eating Boston pizza, which
for
is
gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Eddie Olczyk, who's now doing color commentary for the Seattle Kraken. Of course, Jets 1.0 legend. I think that you can put that on there. Just legend, a fan favorite. He's going to be joining us after 12:30. Looking forward to having him back on the show. Always great to catch up with Eddie O. But the Winnipeg Jets are taking on the Seattle Kraken tonight. Listen, I'll get into this first. 7 o'clock pregame show, 9 o'clock puck drop. This has been a challenging time. Like I go on the forums, I go on all the boards and stuff like that, and collect ideas for the show. People are sick and tired of this 2-week swing through the West, the Pacific time zone.
Well,
it's starting to get to people. Yeah, it's 2 weeks straight. So
last night was the night we've talked about this.
Try waking up at 3:30 like I do. Yeah, for God's sakes, give me a break.
I remember when I was doing mornings, it there would be 3 at a time.
Yeah,
and then they would end up in like Minnesota on the way home, or this 6 games starting at 9 or 9:30. I don't remember. I haven't done the research. Yeah. I don't remember them doing 6, 9, or 9:30. Now there's one 9:30.
Yeah,
6, 9 p.m. starts in a row. I don't remember that. I
can't think about it. No, I
going
can't
to Vegas or Dallas or something on the way home, and then so there'd be the 3, and you'd always get through the 3 in a week, and then you'd move on. But yeah, it's. I was wondering. I haven't checked that. I'm glad that you checked that because you fans listening 780-6868. How challenging is this to catch games?
Because I know it's starting to weigh on everybody. I'm telling you. So it's just tonight, and then
I haven't been.
I think Calgary's 9:00.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, you haven't been yourself.
I haven't been myself.
Yeah.
It's because I listen to the post games at night, so I'm going to bed at like 1:15. And when my plumber's not there, I can't stay awake that long. There's nobody to keep me entertained and eat nachos with.
As soon as I'm waiting for those zeros to go, okay, and then I'm falling asleep.
Maybe he'll pop over tonight.
You never know. So here's the thing about tonight's game, and that's sort of opening things up for me. This is my sort of takeaway about where the Jets and how this road trip has gone. The California swing was I don't know, disaster. That's being way too hyperbolic. I'm exaggerating way too much if I say it was a disaster. It was less than adequate, and the Winnipeg Jets did not play the way that they wanted to play. Vancouver presented. You know what Vancouver did, Jim? It presents an opportunity for redemption.
Yeah.
To me, because this is where things are, right? So. What does it say about this team finding a way to split this road trip now? After I'll say this. It was a crushing run through California.
Yes.
Vancouver presents an opportunity for this team to split this road trip and go 3 for 3. It's not ideal. When the road trip started, we said if the Winnipeg Jets can go 4-2.
I said 4-2 would be successful.
That would be successful. Okay, so that's lost now.
Yeah.
But there's an opportunity here for the Jets to take the bull by the horns, reclaim this road trip, and then do things, and then go 3 for 3.
Yeah, I think that's the focus, right? And that's what the focus has to be.
Yeah.
But they didn't play well, and we all have discussed this and how you judge it and everything else. But they didn't play well and where they were going to get to and what they wanted to get done and stuff. So that's different than that. But they played well against Vancouver. I still don't think they were firing on all cylinders, but they're a good enough team that when they play well, they should win a game. But the Seattle game tonight is interesting to me because not only can it help salvage the road trip going into Calgary, I think they should beat Calgary Saturday night. This is the pivotal one to come back 500. The old adage is if you go 500 on the road, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But I think this team is good enough to go above 500 on road trips, and that's how they finished first last year and second in the West, fourth overall the year before that. So it's important that they salvage this and beat Seattle tonight. But it's fascinating too, right? Because Seattle shut them out of the two times that. What does Carol want?
Well, she's with Brandon Alexander right there, the safety of the Winnipeg Blue.
Can we help you for once, Carol?
Carol, you're on the
air right now, Carol.
What do
you could go onto the TV. You can use that. Brandon Alexander, how are you, buddy? Good to see you again. How are things?
BA, how you doing?
Yeah, good.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Do you want to talk about the Seattle Kraken Winnipeg Jets game tonight? Who do you have in the Grey Cup? Who do you think pulls this out on?
Here, come in. Grab these.
Yeah, here, grab this.
Grab that. Are we putting you out here?
Putting you on that. Yeah, I know you're busy. Real quick though. Thank you, sir. Brandon Alexander joins us on Jets at Noon Live. That's a great part of being down here. Who do you have in the Grey Cup Sunday? Who do you like?
Honestly, like I want a clean game. You know, that sounds like something that Coach Oates would definitely always say. I want a clean game. Fun game to look at. It's a rarity where I get to sit back and actually watch the game for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so my mind is always going, or I'm always been blessed to play in these type of games, so I never got to sit back and actually enjoy the game.
Right.
I will say this, though. At the end of the day, they come from the West. I'm a West dude. I'm not this person of like, Winnipeg all the way. Sass can't win. Like I'm not that person. Like if they beat whoever they need to beat in the West, we are a Western team. You go for the West.
We had a news story on Global TV the other day that said that diehard Bomber fans are like, I know I should never say this, but if the Bombers can't win it, they want the Western team, even if it is the Riders.
Keep the West strong. You know, it shows how strong the West is at the end of the day.
Well, because the East, they just get a free pass to the Grey Cup almost essentially.
I'm not going to say all that.
Good for you.
Yeah, they got a different way of getting there. It's a different style of football on the East and the West. You know what I mean? So it's a lot more like, I will say personally, it's a lot more tackling, a lot more, let's say, bruising on this side versus on that side. You got a lot more go-getters of the football. Like they're high pointers, their receivers are very good.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of that type of style, in my personal opinion.
Right.
And that's so interesting that happens in a league with 9 teams, and then sort of these 2 different characteristics sort of form in both of the divisions. I mean, that's so interesting.
How is it? You've been touring around with the Grey Cup. You're up north in our province, Churchill and stuff. How's it been for you?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to take everything for what it is, right? So, people said that Churchill was going to be one of the best times I was gonna have up there, and it was. Never went dog sledding before. You don't dog sled in Florida. That doesn't happen. So that was pretty fun. I wish I would have got to see the aurora. That didn't happen, but I know that it's a beautiful thing to see. What is cool to me, though, is like you can see the Arctic Ocean. That's a little weird, but but it's very cool, very different.
Yeah.
We saw about 6-7 different polar bears, so that was very fun to see.
That's awesome.
And so I understand why people go up there and want to explore those things. And it's funny enough, a lot of people don't get to see polar bears every time they go up there. So
right,
we saw 6-7 of them. Just
my cousin went up there and he got skunked. He didn't get to see one. No.
We saw that. We heard it was wolves walking on the trail on the railroad and everything. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, we really appreciate your time. I don't want you to upset Carol, so you better get back.
I'm gonna make sure she's good. I always make sure.
Good seeing you.
Enjoy the weekend.
For having me.
Always a good time.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Always
you
a pleasure
come down
seeing
to
him,
you're down at the RBC Convention Center and you can pull BA onto the show. That's
there you go.
Cool.
Always a great time to have him on. Back to the business though, but so I think this is interesting because we all know Seattle shut out Winnipeg, right? It's one of the 2 times they didn't score a goal, and then prior to Vancouver they were trouble scoring, right? 2 goals in 3 games. So I'm wondering if the offensive breakout has happened, and then I'm interested by the rematch here tonight of how Scott O'Neill readjusts what he maybe saw from the Seattle game when they shut him out on home ice, and see if they can get this one. But obviously, if you come back with this one and then go to Calgary, you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, but you want to get this one tonight, or else you will not have a winning road trip.
That's right. You want to find a way to split this, especially after how things went in California. Grab these wins and then turn things in the right direction coming back home. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. The number 1 caller will be awarded a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza on Friday. Eddie Olczyk is going to be joining us right after 12:30 to talk Kraken and the Jets. But when we come back, a legend in the media world, in the world of hockey, passed away at the age of 75. Larry Brooks, Brooksy, famous for some bouts with John Tortorella, and we'll play a bit of that when we come back after a battle with cancer. But stick around. Eddie Olczyk will be with us after 12:30. This is sad news. I mean, this guy was a legend in the hockey media circuits. Larry Brooks passed away at the age of 75, battled with cancer. New York Post, long time there.
Yeah, it is sad news. I mean, we all enjoyed the exchanges between John Tortorella and Larry Brooks, and I met Larry a couple times in a couple scrums with him, and really, I know he's famous for that, but he should be equally or more famous for his writing. He was a phenomenal writer and reporter. He did not back down, and that he shouldn't. And but he was also very professional. He was a really good guy. Like for my limited time, anytime we asked him to be on the show or other shows in my career, he would always come on, or if he couldn't, he would just right away say he didn't. I had no idea he had cancer. It was quite a shock. But I did want to emphasize that. I know he'll be remembered for the exchanges with John Tortorella, but he was way more beyond that as a great writer. He was a fantastic writer.
Having said that,
and reporter.
We'll end this segment. Forte, roll the clip.
What was the exchange with McLean? Your exchange?
What's that?
John McLean.
Johnny McLean?
Yeah.
You should ask him.
Are you answering no questions or what?
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy. You get that through your head?
I guess so.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a waste of time.
Well, then get the out of here then.
I am.
Okay, next question.
Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line and win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for Gourmet Pizza and Pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jets, Kraken. Pregame gets going at 7 o'clock right here on 680 CJOB. Puck drop at 9. Very happy to welcome former member of the Jets 1.0, as well as the now Kraken color commentator, Eddie Olczyk, on the show. Hey, Eddie, how are you?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for having me. Always nice to be on in the Peg. Well wishes always, and look forward to getting back to the neck of the woods at some point. So I wish everybody well, and it's always great to be on in Winnipeg, and looking forward to seeing some familiar faces here tonight in Seattle when the Jets take on the Kraken.
Yeah, I mean, what's it like to sort of see Scott Arniel have this success behind the bench? I know he's been a coach for a long time, and you've probably run across him. But I did an in-depth interview with him last year for a show off the clock I have, Ed, and he was talking about how it means more being the Jets, right? Like he wants to win here, he wants to be successful here because he lives here. It's his home now, but just to do it for the Jets means a little bit more, and I would assume you of all people would understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to play with Arnie, and I've stayed in contact with him with his travels of being a coach, assistant coach in the National Hockey League for many years, and he's done an amazing job, and obviously with ownership with Mr. Thompson and with Mark Chipman and the entire organization, very familiar with everybody involved. And you got Chevy there, you got Zinger there. So I think there's familiarity, which is great. I think everybody, knows each other's personalities. And you're right. I mean, he's a Winnipegger. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And to be able to do it and, in a place called home for him and Leah and the family and everybody, I mean, I couldn't be happier for the job that Arnie's been able to do. And look, at the end of the day, it is about one thing. There's no doubt about it. That's about figuring out a way and finding out a way to bring that Stanley Cup back to Winnipeg. And, they've been on some good runs and, come up a tad short. But at the end of the year, only one team ends up winning. And I think what it goes to show, it's just so damn difficult to win in a National Hockey League. And, you obviously need great players. You need a great front office, but you do need some luck every once in a while, I mean, you do. You need your best players to step up and do that, and you need a little bit of luck every once in a while. You need the draw, the matchup to go a certain way. And, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I think people in Winnipeg know my passion and love for the city of Winnipeg, and having represented the Winnipeg Jets way back when for almost 6 seasons, and the love and respect that I have for them. And I believe one day it will happen. I don't know when, but I do believe at some point that the Stanley Cup will come to Winnipeg. And, maybe it's this year, maybe it's in a couple years, but I think that the Jets are certainly have proven to be one of the top teams in the National Hockey League. Now you just got to get it done in the playoffs.
So what's missing? What's the challenge that's in front of the Winnipeg Jets when it comes to the playoffs? That's something that you just haven't been able to rise to the occasion. Is it sort of what you were talking about before, where they need things to come together? Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, I think it's a combination. I only could speak to experience, and look at having been a small part of a team that won the Stanley Cup with the New York Rangers in 1994, and I mean, yeah, obviously we had, some incredible players on our team. We got unbelievable goaltending from Mike Richter. We won a Game 6 in the conference finals, where, we were down in the series and we were being outplayed early, and Mike Richter gave us a chance to get our feet under us. A game on the road, we're down 2-0, and it could have easily been 4 or 5-1 at that particular time. And you just, sometimes when those hands are dealt, you got to just survive. You have to advance and survive. And we were able to do that. And that was the game Mark Messier predicted we would win. And Mess had the 3 goals in the third period. And, the rest is history. So, you're going to have those potholes. I mean, you're going to have those stumbling blocks. And that's where you're going to need leadership, the players. That's where you're going to need your coaching staff to just kind of settle everything down. And then at the end of the day, you need your best players to step up. I mean, and it's not always, on the offensive side, or scoring a goal, or making a play. I mean, those things do happen, but sometimes it can just be a timely save, or it can be a great back check, or somebody deciding to drop the gloves to change the momentum of a hockey game. And you got to learn it, you got to live it. And I know Jets fans, I mean, they've lived it. They probably have lived it long enough. I understand that, but I think for the players is that once you go through it a couple of times, you realize that sometimes things are in your control, and then sometimes it's just like I said, it's not meant to be, whether it's the matchups or an injury or whatever it is. But the one thing I will say, like, I thought I knew how hard it was to win in the National Hockey League until I was actually be a small part of the team that attained that. Like my rookie year in Chicago in 1984, I mean, we went to the conference finals. We lost 4-2 to the Edmonton Oilers, and obviously in the early 80s, the Oilers were loaded and obviously led by the great one and Wayne Gretzky. But we got to within 2 games of going to the Cup final my rookie year in my hometown, and all of a sudden, I mean, I never got a sniff for 10 years, and I was a role player on that team in New York, and, role players got to do 2 things, and everybody has a role. I mean, obviously, from Mark Scheifele and, Kyle Connor to, 7th and 8th defensemen and 13th and 14th forwards, or guys that are playing with the Moose. I mean, everybody's role is different, but you got to do 2 things. And I call them the 2 X's. You got to accept and you got to execute. And when the game's on the line or the series is on the line, somebody's got to step up in that role. I mean, I was in the building for Game 7 against the Blues last year, and I mean, just an incredible theater. It actually brought me back selfishly. It kind of brought me back to my days of playing at the at the old arena, and just seeing the crowd and the excitement, and how incredible it was, and then eventually, moving on and winning a game in that fashion in a Game 7, with Cole Perfetti and then eventually Adam Lowry, if my mind doesn't go blank here, as I think he scored the OTWG and the series winner. So like those are parts of the journey that will help you along the way. Now, whether it's this year or somewhere down the road, it's just very difficult. But there are a lot of things that go into it, and I do believe, and like I said, I'm not a little biased. I'm a lot biased about the city of Winnipeg, and my love, having represented the Jets as long as I did, is just I do believe at some point that they will win the Stanley Cup.
Ed, your mind is as sharp as anybody's, and that's why we love having you on. It's tough not to talk Seattle with you because you're so good at remembering all the details of the game and your time here and not. So, but we do want to ask you about that because, like, I'm starting to notice this year, and I know it's only less than 20 games for the Jets, but, like, I thought Anaheim played Jet style, right? Like they were creating turnovers. They were creating turnovers. They were creating stuff off the rush. I'm like, this is what the Jets do to people. So what I want to know is like where Seattle's at, because one of the teams that I'm fascinated about is the Seattle Kraken, and the fact that they shut out the Winnipeg Jets at home. Like that's the challenge too that you would know more than ever, is how you come up with a plan to beat a certain team, and give Seattle credit. They did it on Jets home ice. How do they match up tonight, and what have you seen from Seattle on what they did to get a win against Winnipeg?
Well, they're offensively challenged. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, they don't score a lot of goals. In that game, I was not in the Peg for that game, unfortunately. I watched that game on TV, and I will say that was their best game that they've played. I'll just say that's their best game they've played in maybe 2 years. The game in Winnipeg, like they really gave the Jets. I don't think they gave the Jets much. They really didn't. Like they checked really well. Like when you play against the Winnipeg Jets, like you got to make sure that like you're on the right side of the puck. You hear that from coaches a lot and players and what have you. But like they have the ability, the Jets have the ability, and they've got some game breakers that all of a sudden the game could be 3-4-0 after the first period. I mean that's just the way it is. You don't I mean, nobody wants to get embarrassed, but when you do play certain teams, like Colorado would be another just at the top of my head, just the way that they're going right now. I mean, even Anaheim a little bit. I mean, I know they went into Colorado after, having a nice run there and really, beating the Jets at their own game with the physicality and the forecheck and really not giving them a whole heck of a lot. I mean, they, at times it looked like to me, I mean, they were, they were, I don't want to say they were bullying the Jets that night, that being the Ducks against the Jets a couple of nights ago, but they were going to punch first. And I think that's probably the best way to describe it. And I think for Seattle, they understand they have to, to play a certain way. Lane Lambert's done an incredible job here in a short period of time. And look, they're missing their best goal scorer, Jared McCann. He hasn't played at all this year. So, I mean, that's a major loss, not only on the power play, but a threat 5-on-5. You have to scheme for a guy like that. So they matching up tonight again, they come off a game against Columbus where Matt Murray played very, very well. And look, Columbus probably deserved a little bit better, but Seattle found a way to get a point. I believe Philip Grubauer is going to get the start tonight. I'm actually on my way down to the arena now, but I think Grubauer is going to get the start. So he is, he won his last game that he played in St. Louis. But I think for, Winnipeg, they look at Seattle and go, look at, they are offensively challenged. So, not necessarily, Arnie's going to want to get into a run and gun type of game. But, if you limit their chances, that being Seattle, you got a great chance of being in the game and winning the game because they just have a difficult time of getting past that 2-goal mark. Now, both teams are very comfortable in playing those low-scoring games, but I think for Seattle that, they know how they have to play against the Jets. They'll get the matchups that they want, and they're much better defensively than I think a lot of people realize, even though they're not scoring a lot of goals.
We could keep this interview going on for another hour, but we're going to have to leave it here. Eddie Olczyk, Kraken color commentator, former Jets 1.0.
You're not doing anything till puck drop, are you, Ed? Can we just keep going?
Actually, I actually got to stop at the ATM, believe it or not, and then I got to take a little nap. I wish I was heading out to ASD. I wish I was going to go see my buddy Double D, Darren Dunn, out there at Assiniboia Downs and live like we did back in the day going out there chasing the ponies around the track. But I look forward to getting to Winnipeg soon, and I'm actually going to be in Portage La Prairie this weekend, going to be doing a fundraiser and a speaking engagement for the Terriers on Friday night, actually. So I'm looking forward to it. Is the weather going to be okay? I guess I probably haven't even checked into the weather yet. Is everything going to be okay Friday and Saturday?
Plus 11 on Friday.
No, it's going to be gorgeous.
Grey Cup's here, too. Right. You might as well come in and see some of your old bar friends. By the way, you mentioned Darren Dunn. I did a profile with him about a year ago, too, on the show that we're getting to know people's journeys to where they are. And he told the story of being with you when you found out you were being traded out of Winnipeg and how he spent the day with you returning your car and going around town and just having one last lunch out at AS Downs, too.
Yeah, he's a great friend, somebody that has battled cancer as well. I mean, I love him to death, and him and Linda and his family, they've been just great friends of the Olczyk family for many, many years, and that's what it's about. It's about relationships, and even though kind of not necessarily directly with the Jets, but certainly a friend of the Winnipeg Jets, and somebody important in the community for his job over at Assiniboia Downs, and those were the days. And believe it or not, if I can, back today is what date is today? Is today the 13th?
13th, yeah.
Okay, so 3 days ago, on November 10th of 1990, I became a Winnipeg Jet. When I was playing with the Toronto Maple Leafs, my wife and I were in the delivery room in Scarborough, Ontario, and the Toronto Maple Leafs called me out of the delivery room and told me that I was traded to the Winnipeg Jets. So on November 10th, 1990, 35 years ago, I became a proud member of the Winnipeg Jets, finding out while my wife was giving birth to my son, Tommy Olczyk. So every birthday that he has, we raise a glass to the city of Winnipeg and Winnipeg Jets.
Did you tell your wife? Did you tell her?
And legend has it that you went in there and said, politely, we've been traded, and she said anywhere but Winnipeg?
Yeah, no, that is not anywhere near it. I'll give the Cliff Notes version. The nurse tapped me on the shoulder. The nurse tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, the Maple Leafs are on the phone." And we played a game that night, Hockey Night in Canada against Chicago. And I said, "Look,
they called the hospital to tell you.
I'll be at the game." And there were no cell phones back then. At least I didn't have a cell phone. So she comes back. She goes, "No, they really want to talk to you." On a scale of 1 to 10, my wife was probably a 7. The doctor was at the foot of the bed. I'm not kidding you. He had the mask on, gloves on. Everything was ready to go. So like an idiot, do I leave or do I stay? So, of course, I left the room. And the Maple Leafs get on the phone and say, "Hey, call us before you come." I said, "I'm not calling you. Diana's having a baby right now. I'll be at the game." It's like 5 o'clock. And they said, "Well, Eddie, we hate to do this to you, but we just traded you to the Winnipeg Jets." And I was like, "You're really kidding me, right?" Well, we had to do it by league bylaws or whatever. So now I go back to the room. My wife looks at me. She's on her back. The doctor's at the foot of the bed. She looks at me and she says, where have you been? And I'm like, my aunt's sick. And I didn't know what else to say. I mean, I froze. I froze on the breakaway. And then she looks at me. She looks at the ceiling. Again, now, she's having a baby. She looks at me, looks at the ceiling, and says, verbatim, "Where are we going?" And I went, "Oh, my gosh. Psychic and pregnant. What a combination." I'm like, I can't believe it. So then I figured, well, if anybody knows my personality, I figured, well, I guess it's a game right now, even though you're going to have a baby here in about 30 seconds. I'm like, guess. She looks at me, looks at the ceiling, and all she says is Winnipeg. And I was like, how in the hell did she know we just got traded to the Winnipeg Jets? Next thing you know, all I do is shake my head. The next thing you know, I see the doctor at the foot of the bed, angrily pulling his mask off, ripping off his rubber gloves, and goes, "This baby ain't coming for another 3 hours."
Oh, God. We have to leave it there, Eddie. That's an unbelievable story. That's great stuff. You take care.
Love having you on, Ed. All the best.
Our pleasure. Mr. Chance, get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15. Only at BP. That was the best moment in the history of Jets at Noon.
And I'm glad he cleared that up because does it. And it was nothing against she hated Winnipeg.
Yeah.
It was just like anywhere but Winnipeg. And then the family, including his wife, absolutely adore Winnipeg. But I'm glad he cleared that up. But what a story.
That's the best moment in the history of the show. We'll be right back. Well, we are way over time. Fortunately, I got all my sponsors in, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. Because we got to go because we just had the best interview with Eddie Olczyk. If you missed it, I think we'll replay that story tomorrow. We can replay some audio.
We'll put it next week. Yeah, I'll rerun it at 1:45 today.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll make room for it. I'll get Tyson a clip.
It'll be on the podcast and stuff, and we'll find a way. We'll get it all out there because that was
what a fan. And I'm glad he cleared it out. So she leaned back and she said, "Guess Winnipeg." It wasn't like anywhere but Winnipeg.
Okay.
And then because that was part of the legend of the story was that how much she fell in love with Winnipeg like Ed did. But what a fantastic story.
Anyways, that's it for me. Hey, puck drop at
Buzz and Boomer here.
What's going on, dude? we got to go. Hey, puck drop 9 o'clock.
Festival Live.
What's going on? Okay. Pre-game at 7, puck drop at 9 o'clock here. Now they're just messing with me. Buzz and Boomer are messing with me.
You get a photo with them.
Okay, I will.
You love them.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. All right, guys. All right, see ya. Bye.